Good day, everyone. Today, I will be discussing my assigned topic, which focuses on fairness, ethics, and standards. These principles play a crucial role in guiding behavior, decision making, and maintaining integrity in both personal and professional settings. Let us explore their significance and how they impact our daily lives and responsibilities. So the concept of fairness in language testing is complex because different people have different views on what fairness means. So when we talk about fairness, we are referring to the quality of making decisions and treating people in a way that free from bias or favoritism. But when it comes to language testing, it's different. So, despite their potential for misuse, language tests play a crucial role in education and employment. So we have here a case study about intelligence testing, which describes how psychologist Alfred Binet developed the first intelligence test in 1905. The purpose of this test was to classify children and help those with low scores by providing additional support to improve their intelligence. So Alfred Binet is a French psychologist who developed the first practical intelligence test. It marked the beginning of modern intelligence testing. Individuality and participation. So this case critiques historical intelligence testing, showing how it was misused for discrimination. So in the past, intelligence tests were sometimes used for unfairly to judge people. So as you can see, the ones that being judged in the past was the mostly the immigrants and the minority groups. This was wrong and hurtful because it shows how we need to respect each other's differences. So we have here professionalism and democracy. This section argues that intelligence testing should be evaluated through a democratic and ethical lens, rather than being treated as an unquestioned scientific truth by challenging different viewpoints and including more voices in the discussion. We can make testing fairer and more meaningful. So, professionalism and democracy, this section explains that intelligence testing should be looked at in fair and ethical way, not just accepted as absolute truth. By allowing different opinions and including more people in the conversation, we can improve the test and make them more fair and useful for everyone. So we have here consequentialism. So this study encourages ethical decision making based on reasoning, continuous improvement of testing, and considering the broader impact of our decisions on the society. So this part focuses on making ethical choices by let's say thinking carefully about the result of our actions. It encourages us to keep improving intelligence tests and to consider how our decisions affect people and society as a whole. So we have here the power and pessimism. So exams are not just neutral assessments. They shape society and influence people's futures and need to be carefully designed to avoid reinforcing inequality. So exams aren't just tests. They can affect our future, like what school we go to or what job we get. That's why it's very important to make sure that they are fair and don't make life harder for some people more than others. We have here relativism and power. So this study talks about how ethics in language testing vary across cultures and how power influences what is considered fair. Postmodernism challenges fixed ethical rules, suggesting that fairness should be depend on context rather than universal standard. So in this section, this shows that fairness in exam can look different depending on where you are or who you ask. So people in power often decide what's fair, but that doesn't always work for everyone. Um, it made me think that fairness should depend on the situation, not just one set of rules for all, because we have different backgrounds and different, what do you call this, different situations. So we have here taking power into account. This section talks about how power influences language testing and why it is important to consider power dynamics in test design and administration. So number one, we have here tests are controlled by powerful institution. This part explains that tests aren't just neutral; they're influenced by powerful institution that grades impact education and job opportunities. So it is obvious that the grades that we got from our school can shape our future, can decide what future we will be having. Then that numbers create an illusion of fairness. And even though numbers look fair, they don't always reflect everyone's real abilities of situation. We have here the case study too. So language testing and gatekeeping. Many countries around the world use language testing as a method of controlling immigration. This is done because the countries would be accused of racism if the controls were to be openly imposed without some pretext. So this section explains that language tests are sometimes used to block immigration. Instead of openly admitting unfair reasons, country use language as an excuse. It's a reminder that tests aren't always just about ability. They can also be used to control who gets accepted or rejected. Language tests as immigration barriers. Some countries have used language tests to restrict immigration rather than to assess real language ability. For example, the Australian Immigration Restriction Act of 1901 introduced language testing as a way to limit immigration, especially from Asia. So, language tests haven't always been fair, as we can see. For example, in 1901, Australia used a language test to stop people, especially from Asia, from immigrating. The test wasn't really about the language skills, but about keeping certain groups out. It shows how tests can be used as a tool for discrimination. Hidden discrimination through testing. Language tests were often applied selectively to exclude certain groups rather than to fairly assess all immigrants. In some cases, applicants were tested in languages they didn't even speak to justify rejection. So this really shows the how unfair testing can be. Instead of testing everyone equally, some groups were picked out and tested just to reject them. Sometimes people were even tested in languages they didn't even know at all, just just so they could be denied entry. It wasn't about ability. It was about finding a reason to just say no. Purpose of fair testing originally. Tests were meant to promote fairness and opportunity by assessing actual language skills. However, history shows that tests can be misused to restrict access to jobs, education, and immigration. So, language tests were originally created to give everyone fair chance by measuring real language ability. But over time, I have learned that they haven't always been used fairly. Instead, they've sometimes been misused to block people from getting jobs, going to school, or even moving to another country. It's a reminder that even something meant to be fair can be turned into barrier. So we have here professional conduct, standards for practice, standards for ethical testing organization like ILTA or International Language Testing Association and American Educational Research Association or AERA set ethical guidelines for fair language testing. So they create ethical rules to guide how tests should be made and used so that people are treated equally and test really measures what they're supposed to. So the International Language Testing Association Code of Ethics provides broad ethical principles but lacks strict rules for implementation. This raises concerns about whether existing standards are enough to prevent misuse of language testing. So we have here the responsibilities of language testers and their limitations. So who is responsible for test used? There is a debate about whether responsibility lies with test creators or those who use the test. Example, the governments or institutions. Some argue that test developers should be accountable for both intended and unintended test consequences. So, ethical considerations in testing MESIC 1989 emphasizes that professional judgment is necessary when applying test standards. However, Davis 1997 suggests that responsibility should be within reasonable limits, meaning testers can control all misuse but should minimize harm. So, professional responsibility in testing, MESIC of 1989 reminded us that using test standards isn't just about following rules. It takes professional judgment to apply them properly. However, on the other hand, Davis of 1997 added that while test makes can't control everything, they still have a responsibility to reduce harm as much as they can. To me, this means testers should be careful, thoughtful, and do their best to make testing fair and responsible. So, fairness in testing ethical standards state that if research shows test scores vary among different groups, adjustments should be made to ensure fairness. But factors like race, ethnicity, gender, disability, or socioeconomic status should be considered when designing and interpreting text. So we are now in accountability, legal and ethical responsibility. So language testers must be accountable for the consequences of their tests, especially if they lead to discrimination, example based on race, gender, or disability. Court cases in the US have cited the importance of fairness in test designs and implementations. So our test design should always be aligned to all, not by race, gender, or disability. So that's all. Standards and professional ethics. This will be our last slide. So Shohani of 2000 to 2001 argues that test developers should involve stakeholders in decision making to ensure fairness. So to ensure fairness, we as the test developer should include our stakeholders so that they can judge or they can see or they can check if your test is unbiased. For that, bias and discrimination risks. If test results negatively affect certain groups, this can lead to legal actions like what I have mentioned earlier. So, Golden Rule Insurance Company versus Matthias of 1991 highlights how tests analyzed by race can be challenged in court. So, if proven or obviously if your test is biased, this can lead to legal actions which you will answer to the legal court. So to wrap up, we've seen how language testing connects to fairness, ethics, and power. While tests can open opportunities, they can also misuse. That's why it is important to design and apply them with care, responsibility, and respect for all individuals. Thank you for your attention, and I hope this report gave you a deeper understanding of the issue involved.